Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast and the show we will learn from the people who are behind building great products and businesses. Today we have Elinor Assus, a product strategy consultant lecturer. For the past decade, she's worked with across gaming, SaaS, AI power products, helping companies including Guesty and Riverside. So welcome Elinor. It's a pleasure to have you and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm so excited.
So to begin with, could you please tell us about your journey and yourself so far?
Of course. So, nice to meet you all. I'm Elinor. I am 32 years old. I am Amy's mom. I live in Israel. Over the past decade, I've been working in the tech industry, mostly in gaming. I started my journey in the gaming industry, building product apps from thinking about it to releasing it. And after a while, I did this sweet spot change and I decided to move to SaaS industry where I've been taking all my knowledge from the B2C area to the B2B era, and I've been doing it for a while. And after my daughter was born, I decided I want to do things on my own, and now I'm working as a product consultant, freelance. I have my own business, the Tech It in business, and where I mentor and guide startups and entrepreneurs that want to build their products, and that's it.
That's great to hear that. So I always see that you talk about this, the art of small fixes. So what inspired your philosophy of this and how it has shaped your approach to the product management? Can you share some example where a small improvement created a surprisingly like big impact for product?
I will take it one step before that,
Hmm.
because basically when I worked in the tech industry, we always speak about it in the product area, that it depends on where you were born, meaning what companies touch your product. So it's like
Right.
if you've been working in cybersecurity, then your product is super different than what I will bring to the table. And my product culture was built around moving fast and testing, moving fast and testing. Like it was all around that. My first product that I built was a product for cars, like selling cars, and
Hmm.
it was super hard, super functional. You needed to involve so many people around, and every single feature that we wanted to release was heavy. I couldn't really manage anything because it was my beginning, but once I started working in the gaming area where I built games, I noticed like in the company that you're just building those games and testing them. So they were, I think, in the high, like the peak of my work was I managed six different apps with more than 100K different users,
Users. Hmm.
and I needed to manage their life cycle for each and every one of them, and also to maintain the new ideas that I have. And I didn't had any bureaucracy, any deployment, any discussions with management, because I was in a startup and they were like, do whatever you want. And that's what I did. So every time I had an idea and I wanted to research it, I used to just check it. And because when you do B2C, you have the ability to close the audiences, to segment the ones that you don't want them to see those features. And every time I had those things, I just tested them out, check how I feel, and release it. And I had no idea of all those big words like that today we speak about, like testing, MVPs, ta ta ta. I didn't had the product methodology because it wasn't even there yet. So,
Right, right. Hmm.
um, and then now you're bringing it into the table. So it was like that, and managing the B2C area is always around testing and A/B testing and managing your audience. And when I did this jump to SaaS, I noticed the difference, like how you actually handle requests from customers, how
Hmm.
your entire product roadmap is invented by the people who pay, the people like the enterprises or like the management. And I was like, where the hell is the data? Like where the
Hmm.
hell
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
the
Right,
people,
right.
where the hell
Hmm.
is the ideas, where the hell? And they were like, what are you talking about? I mean, this is B2B, we're talking with businesses. And from that, I realized that this is all I need to implement, like the art of small fixes, like how we can
Right.
do big stuff in the B2B area. And I really like changed their perspective because I was the only one, it was in Guesty. I was the only one in Guesty that came in and said, guys, let's change the entire thing. Like I changed the entire life cycle of the product from roadmap planning, Q first, Q second, all of that into a Kanban view. My entire team. It was very, I really changed it, and it was because the fact that I have audience and I have a product, and I need to test the product in order to understand what my audience wants. So that was like the beginning of this idea. Um, yeah,
And
like
like
yeah.
how approaching this, the art of small fixes, then how it is impacted after approaching this thing.
I think that in Riverside, excuse me, in Guesty, we really noticed that we didn't really knew about the audience. So basically, in Guesty, what I needed to do, it was like I came as a B2C expert, um, and they wanted to invade the B2C area of their product, and they had the same methodology as always, like building, creating a roadmap, estimating, da 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 da. And when I notice my audience and I notice the people that are working in this, so I am a product kind of person who super involved with marketing, with strategy, with sales, with everyone, because I feel like the product is everything but the actual software.
Right.
Uh, and then when I noticed that, I literally took like all those ideas and tried to think what is the minimum way to test those ideas because they are all very interesting. Um, so I took and I asked the management to remove any estimation planning, anything around these discussions with the developers, and I just want to take one assumption and make sure that I am on my right path. And at the beginning, they were like, no way, no way, no way. And then I took the first test, and my first test was, I remember it, it took me so much time to convince, but so easy to execute. It was a test where the onboarding flow was like around 7 or 8 pages. And I told them, can we just put one page? And they
Right.
were like, way, no, 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 no. And I said, it's just small fix, okay? It's like the art of small fix. It is a
Right.
small fix. Let's see what it brings to the table, and then we can discuss it further. And I think that was the first release that made them like change their perspective about that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Then how do you identify a small user friction like that create a significant business impact? Like where do you usually start customer feedback and analytics or like maybe user behavior?
So we always use a few resources when we build a product. So we have the research around like the market, the competitors, what they do, how they feel. So that's one source. The second source will always be like the industry trends, right? Like AI, not AI, automation, not like all those trends in general. And then you have the inbound resources, which is marketing and strategy and CSMs and sales. So all of them have their own resources, and then you need to hold it all in your mind. And my today I'm not sure about it, but I do want to say that when I started, it was first understand data. Like every single flow in your product should be mapped, everything. Okay, so when I'm building a product, I don't even care if it's stupid. I'm like, I want to know how many people view, how many people clicked, how many people viewed, how many click. And they were like, but why do you need to see the view if you have the click? I said, I don't care. I want to know how many people interacted with a specific thing, and then I want to know how many people continue and where do they went to. So if you ask like what is the significant point what I'm starting with, is usually data. If I don't have data, it will probably will go to the user behaviors like in interviews. But um, I believe every single product in the world should map every single event in its product, so you will see the drops, and the drops can actually tell you everything, in my opinion.
Okay, okay. Like how do you decide where AI genuinely adds value to any product experience? So like how do you separate meaningful AI product features?
With AI,
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the interesting thing I told lately was I knew about the agents of Claude. I
Mm-hmm.
knew
Mm-hmm.
about the amazing abilities that we have now. And there was a moment in this craziness of AI that I stopped and I said, okay, I know because I'm technology, I am technology, like I knew that AI can do it all. Right? That's the way I'm starting today. Every product that I'm building, everything that I do is like I know AI can do it all. Now I want to know what I want to do. So the way I approach AI is not by how I implement AI, is what is the pains that I need to handle, what are the use case I have. And once I have this specific like line of like as a user who wishes to blah blah blah, then I approach AI and think like how AI can help me. And it's super interesting because even the agents, like everyone was like talking about, because as an independent, you really need agents for marketing, for people, for sales, and all of that. And people were like, "You have to do those agents. You have to do." And I said, "Okay, I will, but I need to see like what do I need from those agents." Um, and I think that the first time I ever used an agent was like 1 month ago, because I knew I need agents, but I didn't know why. So once I felt this why, and I was like, I really need someone to go through my emails. And then I
Right.
really felt the pain, and then I just built it because I knew the build will be easy. So I think like this is the approach most of us should take. Like take the
Mm-hmm.
assumption it can do it all. Now think what you really need and then
Right.
approach it. Yeah.
Okay. And like, what do you think? What common mistakes do like product teams make while introducing AI features to any product, or like what one piece of advice you would give before adding AI to any product?
I think that you really need to take under consideration the. I think AI right now. You know what? Let's talk with example, okay? I don't want to say like I don't want to be like philosophical. I have this account, this client, okay, that they are building a new onboarding flow. Like that's what I do. I help people to create their B2C flows. So they are building a new onboarding flow and they have all those screens, like how the user will sign up, what will they do. And when they showed me the flow, I was like, do you have any, they built the entire flow with Claude. And I said, do you have any Miro or even Google Doc that you map the flow like point by point? And then they was like, and they said, no, we just built it all with Claude and now we are moving it into production. And I said, there is no documentation anywhere like about this flow, not even like about the behavior, just like seeing it and not feeling it, only like watching the flow. And she said, no. And then I did it to them, like during the session, I took all the screenshots and I told them, can you now feel the difference? And they were like, yeah, we didn't really thought about it. So what was there is that they were building, and it's so easy and fun, like to build the UI and building and gaming with and play with that. But then they didn't even notice how many steps they did. They didn't notice how many unneeded text there was there. So I think that the approach of like, yeah, go and build, go and do, just make it happen. That's like the only thing I can say. Don't run to the solution, don't run to the building, don't run to the cloud. Just stay and stuck a bit more in the problem, in the ideation, and use your brain a bit.
Right. Right.
You can still do
Mm-hmm.
it, like you can still use your brain and write and map what you think should happen and then use AI. I really do think that AI should be a tool and not replace the thinking.
Right.
And I think that all the products today, even you, when you are like learning and thinking, we jump to the solutions now because we have them. And I'm like, stop one moment and be stuck in the problem a bit more.
Right. That's wonderful. Like,
Yeah.
how do you balance then customer feedback with a long-term product vision? For example, like, have you ever had to say no to any feature that customer might have requested and they wanted that feature maybe in the product?
And you are asking a very problematic person because I usually say no. uh,
Okay.
yeah. Basically, when you come in, when you were born in the B2C product area, you don't really care about customer needs. So let me explain it. Building a product is about the product and the market and the needs and the users. It's not about a single person. And I remember when I reached out in Guesty and they told me we have those requests, and I said, okay, fun. How many people are they? And they were like, it's two people, but they are heavy and and I was like, okay, we can maybe try to do it next queue. And they were like, no, no way, we need it now. And my idea behind it is that one person cannot change the entire product lifecycle. It cannot happen, even if it's eBay, like even if it's Google. I mean, I know the business behind it. I am not stupid. Of course, that you want a contract to be signed, then you will do it. But I do believe there are people that are there that the way we build for asking a request, like, okay, so you want this invoice, I don't know, solution in the platform. Cool. I will take it as a request and I will understand why you really need it. Like what we do today is like they need invoices. Let's build invoices. No, I didn't ask for invoices. I asked for a report. Right? It's like changing the entire perspective. And I think
Right.
that's why we shouldn't be so immediate when using customer request, but we should always talk to them, right? Like we do it, we think about it, we want to do it, we will do it, but we really need to understand exactly what was their pain and also try to find this pain in your current user base. Like actually try to see if you find them, if you have problems there. It's super different. It's like try to get data from this customer. Like if
Right.
one customer is complaining, do we have another 10 that complains? Like that's what I'm trying to, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, what product metrics do you rely on, like, when evaluating product success? Is there any metrics you think the teams often overlook?
First of all, it's super general because it's highly dependent on the goals and the product that we are building. I think that quantity is not always the right amount of like the right metric to count stuff, but mostly, listen, I am a very growth conversion strategy kind of person. So my usual goals will be how many people are changing their perspective due to this change. So meaning like comparing behaviors in the flow. That's why I'm coming back to mapping flows. And then when you map flows and you see the differences in the flow, I think that's a big change. Like if you, for example, I don't know, you have a 4 steps flow, and then you are releasing a 2 steps flow. So the first thing that you would want to check is, do I impacted the end resolution? It's one, right? So more people finished it. But how many people actually filled out the data, for example? So to understand I think that the right meaning for that is adoption, like understanding how many people actually made the right solution by filling up the form in the right way, doing it, and then understanding the resolution. Because if, for example, I will see an improvement of 50%, 50% completion, awesome, amazing. But what happened with the people who completed that? Like, so like always ask the second question. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And how do you approach product discovery and user research in this AI era?
I actually think it's great. I think AI can help us much more than we think. Book LLM, super easy. Like, I don't know, just throw out all the thing you know. I will sound very spiritual, but I do believe writing very helped me. Meaning, when I have like all this information in my head from the market research, from the CSMs, from sales, from strategy, and I found it very easy like to give it all to AI, summarize it to me, tell me what you think. But I always I just had this practice with product managers and I told them about that. I always like, before I like discuss with AI about my ideas, you already have it all. And I am writing in a Google Doc, like what I experienced. Like, when I spoke to sales, it told me really like to deep dive in that. When I spoke to, and I really write it, it's funny because it's like, but I really do it, and then I take my notes and compare it to AI's notes, cause and then I see like how can I use it, but I use him like frequently, like everything, summarizing, discussing, like thinking. But I always believe in writing, and I am if we are talking B2C and flows, just download the app, download it, feel the competitors, feel the users, like don't just rely on screenshots that I don't know Mobin is giving you. Feel it, feel it, like
Right.
download the apps, download the SaaS, check them out, like yeah.
Okay, okay. And as like we are overloaded with the AI information, so how do you make decisions? Like how do you make decisions who are getting into this product management or entering into the AI era? What advice would you give to aspiring product leaders and who are entering into AI era?
I think now more than ever, the people, I don't know if it will probably change, but the people who are now interviewing and checking the people from AI, they don't really care that you know how to use Lovable or you know how,
Hmm.
I don't know, Fable is working now. They do
Right.
want to see the tradition, like that you know how to research, that you know how to think. I think one of the best practices for every product is do the product sense interview even online without AI, without nothing. Like try to see if you really understand the methodologies behind it, because that's what
Hmm.
people will look for. I don't know, maybe in 10 years from now, they will be like, tell me that you know everything about AI. But the product management methodology, like the method of product management is so deep that I usually look for the people response when they're like, now I see it. And when they get that, like it's much easier to build products and work behind it. Like, and so I do believe like stay in the methodology, stay in the traditional product, and then say you know all the rest, but be stuck there, like in the product world,
Right.
in the problem. Like don't run to solutions, never.
Okay. And what product trends excites you the most ever for the next 5 to maybe 10 years?
Uh,
Like how do you think AI will reshape the role of product managers?
I think it's funny because I believe that most of the dark work that we used to do, which is like writing PRDs and writing Jira, all of that, I think it's amazing. But on the other hand, I do think that we will see like this trend of people building products all the time and then people coming into experts to like fix those products. So I think it's super exciting to see the revolution behind like building the products, and it's so easy like that the fact that as a product you can just open cursor and like just upload the fix. But I think what excites me most is to understand how will they handle it in a large scale, because as a s and I think that it's interesting to see what products will be developed to solve that, because there will be a lot of everything, and then we will need to somehow handle it. I hear a lot of from ChatGPT, from like all the big people like Google and all of that, how they speak about the loads of information that we will have and loads of products, and someone will need to maintain that. So that's what excites me. Like, what product will fix this issue? Because we will interfere, we will approach a problem of too much, because products will build too much, the developers will build too much, everyone will build, and then you will be lost in like a rabbit hole. So I wonder what excites me is what will the big bosses will do, like the cloud, the Anthropic, the Google, how they will handle it, because they're also speaking about that. Like, so it's very interesting. That's what's right, because building is easy, agents is
Okay.
easy, everything is easy. How will you handle that? The fact that it's so easy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And uh, for suppose if anybody wants to build any product, so how do they approach to any market research, user research? How do they identify the gap? For example, if the product is already available in the market and they want to build their own new product, so how do they identify the gap and how do they identify that this feature we want in our product, this feature might a user need, or this is the things market need or user needs? How do we identify that?
I think first of all, talking like interviews are the most efficient way to see if you really have something interesting behind it, because you can go like for a walk and think about an idea or a product or a feature, but the first way to validate is actually hearing from other people. So like, and then you can either change the perspective of your problem or change the product itself, because people might tell you already, oh, it's already exists there. So like, one is talk about it, like share with your teammates, with your products, with your friends. We don't talk about like I don't know, stealing ideas. It's just because the first thing you will hear is, "Oh, I know about it," and then you can understand. And the second thing will be is to, I don't know, Google search or ChatGPT search to all those ideas that you have in your mind. Tell me what products exist in this area and map it out to me, and tell me what is the user base that you are usually using. And then don't ask more. Take the names and look for them, like in your app, in your phone. Like leave ChatGPT, look for the solution, and then understand what solutions, what pain they use, they solve, and what pain they haven't solved yet, and then tackle that pain.
Okay, okay. And looking back, what's the one product decision that taught you an unforgettable lessons in your previous company, like maybe with the Riverside or Guesty?
Um, I think in Guesty, one of the problems we had was understanding the user need, like because we were talking a lot with enterprises, and we had the assumption that everyone needs the same solution because it's the same industry. It's very narrowed. It's not like building, I don't know, an iPhone. It's specific issues, specific customers. And my focus was always around like how to help them finish the flow, how to help them like make it easier for them, blah blah blah. And then I made this. They brought like strategy teams and all that, and we had those discussions going on. And like I said, listen, the numbers shows differently, and da da da. And then they were like saying, I think it was super interesting to say, but maybe we can just stop all you do, like all your work, and then we can like rethink about the audience. And I was like, I don't think we need to do it. And they were like, maybe we should. And I think that that moment was super interesting for me because I was like guided by this idea that my customers are the same, like they know it, like they've been doing it for 10 years. And then together we built this amazing research, like talking with people and making a lot of surveys, and it changed the entire audience. Like we discovered that 60% of the population are not what we thought about. And then we reconstructed the entire idea. So I think that was super interesting to see how open you need to be, like how ambitious it is, like to build
Right.
stuff and think that you know, and you never know. Like I think that was super interesting because
Okay.
it changed the entire product, like it changed it all.
Right.
Once we did it, yeah.
So the final question, if you could give like every product leader or professional the one piece of advice, like what would it be? Like who are getting into product management or
Um,
product leadership?
all I want to say is be stuck, like be stuck in the product problem, in the problem world. Even though you have the solution and you know they just need a pop-up, you know it's only one button, just give it one more moment. Give it like, we talk about a lot in the meditation world, like stay in the issue, stay in the problem, stay in the pain, right? Like, I don't know, but I won't tell like meditate, but I do will say like be stuck in the problem, like try to really understand that you know the problem, that you really understand the problem, and then so fine. Because today I think we need to take under consideration. I think that will be the final hit. Like you will have a solution. The solution exists. Like you know how to solve it, and it will be super fast. So it doesn't. We don't care about that. Now be more specific about the problems that you want to solve. I think, yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, Elinor, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your insights and your philosophy of the art of small fixes. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm sure our audience will walk away with the valuable lessons on building like better product and creating meaningful user experience. So thank you so much for
Good.
joining us, and it's a
Thank
pleasure to have
you.
you on the podcast.
Me too. Thank you.